Hello, Little Rock families. I've received some phone calls and some emails asking if we could give a little bit more information about what Remote Learning 2.0 looks like. Many of you were able to go to the Tumwater Virtual Academy presentation or have watched that video, and you're curious, how do I make a decision? Which one of the two do I want for my student for this coming year? So this video is to do a job of trying to explain what virtual learning, not virtual learning, but the Remote Learning 2.0 looks like for Little Rock this year. So some of the differences. First off, the Remote Learning 2.0 will have Little Rock teachers doing the teaching of the curriculum. So unlike the Tumwater Virtual Academy, the teachers will be doing the teaching and the parents would be on the support of that. So we'll have a schedule that we'll show you here in a little while, but teachers will be responsible for doing teaching, and most of that will come through videos that will be given to you through Google Classroom and some of those. There will be some Zoom times. We want the kids to have some connections with other kids. We want them to continue to have those relationships through school and through friendships. So there will be some Zooms with that. Some of that will be social emotional learning. Some of that will be just getting to know kids and letting them have some times together. And then the video presentations will be by teachers in the areas of math, reading, science, social studies, and some writing. So those will be the curriculum areas that we focus mostly on. Along with that, we would like to look at having a Zoom every day. Some of that will be for social emotional, some of that will be just to make connections with kids, but we want to make sure our kids are connecting with each other in important, positive ways. So let me talk about the schedule. You're going to be seeing a schedule here in just a few minutes that we've designed. One of the things we heard last spring was we need a structure. We want to structure what the day looks like. We don't want just stuff thrown at us to do. What does that schedule look like? Now, some of you will want to use the schedule. Others of you will say, that schedule doesn't really work for me. I don't want to follow that. Either one of those would be flexible. The only thing that's not really flexible would be the Zooms. Those happen when they happen because they're live, but everything else will be done by video, so you can do them when it's convenient for your family to do them. So let's take a look at a sample schedule. Just know that this may or may not be the schedule your student has, but it is a sample so that we could look at and show it to you. I apologize for the size, trying to get it on the screen, but I think it'll help us to at least take a look at it. So as we look at this, the first thing on this particular schedule is a morning Zoom. You'll notice it's about 20 minutes, and that gives us a chance to check in with the kids, have some time with them, talk about what the day is going to look like. From there, in this particular schedule, you'll notice that we give the kids a chance to gather some materials, get ready for their first reading lesson. And then the reading lesson there, you'll see that it's an asynchronous video. What that means is a video that's been prepared by the teacher. The instruction is in that. Your student would watch the video, and then there will be a time of independent practice and work on their own after that would not be on the computer. It would be independently doing some other work. And as the year goes on, we're looking at adding some intervention time into that. Now, that intervention time may change over the course of time. We may possibly be able to bring in some small groups of kids into the building. Right now, we have the ability to bring in kids in groups of 5 or smaller as long as they're socially distanced. Kids who are struggling, maybe there's a group of kids that's excelling and we want to do some really fun things with them and do an enrichment piece with them. We could pull a small group of those in during the day. Kids who are struggling, that would be one. Maybe some kids without internet access, we could bring them in. We want to be able to meet the needs of our kids. And so there will be some of that. We could even do some small groups on Zooms during that time. So after that reading, there would be a cleanup time. Then we want to make this as close to what the school schedule would be as possible. So when we come back in a hybrid or a full-on model, the schedule will look very similar. So we would give the kids a snack and a recess time. You can kind of choose what that looks like in your own home. Then after that, you'll see that there's a math lesson. So there would be a video recorded math lesson for your kids from the teacher. Then following that would be independent practice, and then the possibility of some small group interventions if we needed those during that time. Then there would be cleanup from that, and then the kids would go into their lunch break while they're at school. At your home, that would be depending on what time you wanted to do that. The next piece you see on the next slide, or the next schedule part of that, since it wouldn't all fit on one schedule, is an open office optional time. What we've thought would be really good there is for every day to have an open time where the teachers are on a Zoom meeting. There's nothing planned, there's nothing prepared for that time. It's a time for kids and parents to ask questions. Hey, I didn't understand what was in that math lesson, or I'm really struggling with this, or hey, I just got a question I need to ask. Teachers will be available during those Zoom times to answer those questions. And there will be independent work during that time for those kids who don't have questions. They could be doing independent reading. They could be doing some iReady math, some iReady reading. They could be doing AR reading, or they could be doing some other work that's assigned by the teacher. After that, there would be another snack break time, and then there would be a specialist time, as you see on that schedule, where they would receive some instruction in PE or in music or possibly in library or technology each of the 5 days. That just walks through what a possible schedule looks like. It's very similar to a schedule that we would do during a school day. And you'll notice that there's times associated with that. Again, please don't get hung up on the times. That schedule is there for those people who need to say, I need my kids to be in school 6.5 hours a day. I need to know what to do each minute of the day. The only things that need to be done at a specific time are those Zooms. The other work, the reading, the math, the science, the social studies, all of those video created lessons can be done anytime during the day. So you have the freedom and the flexibility as a family to do that. The biggest difference between Distant Learning 2.0 and the Tumwater Virtual Academy really is who's doing the teaching. The distant learning, your Littlerock teachers will be doing the teaching. In the Tumwater Virtual Academy, the parents are really the teacher with the support of the academy. The distant learning helps us with relationships. The distance learning keeps you connected to the Littlerock staff and the Littlerock community and the other Littlerock students. The virtual academy is actually a school of itself, so you really don't have the same connection that you have at Littlerock. The other two things that you get with the Distant Learning 2.0 Littlerock is you still have access to AR, and you still have access to iReady, our wonderful PTO that does so many great things for us. The connections through PBIS and Tiger Paws, we're trying to figure out how to connect all of that in. So there are so many things to this that we want the Distant Learning 2.0 to as closely match what they'll be doing when they're in school as possible. I hope this has given you some help in figuring out which way I want to go. Do I want to go do the Littlerock Distant Learning 2.0, or do I want to join Tumwater Virtual Academy and do something a little bit different? Please also know that with that one, there is a commitment of time. At least, I believe it's at least a semester you commit to. The Littlerock Distance Learning 2.0, if we're able to come back into school, whether it be a hybrid model or whether it be full-on face-to-face, those students who were with us, they're coming back in and we're going to get things done in the building. So unfortunately, we are in a distant learning. We all wish we were back, and we can't wait to have our kids back in the building. But we look forward to meeting all of you that we haven't met yet. We look forward to seeing you again that have been with us. We hope this has been helpful. If you want to drop us a line, drop us an email. We'll be back in the office starting Monday full-time with people able to answer phones, and you won't be waiting for us to answer machines or with emails. So stay in touch. We'll have more information to come. Oh, by the way, one other thing that we are looking at doing, I almost forgot, was we're looking at doing a soft start. What that soft start looks like is taking the first 3 days of school and making them look like a conference week, where there wouldn't be a lot of quote schooling going on, but we want our staff, our teachers, and our parents and our kids to get together and begin to build that relationship. We want to hand out Chromebooks at that time. We want to hand out schedules. We want to give you your logins for all the computer access. We want to talk about what are our norms for Zoom meetings. What do we want those to look like? What do we want behaviors to look like in those? How do we get on to everything? We want to answer questions. We have some supplies that we want to take care of, getting kids things that they need. This will be a really important time to get the year started off in a really positive way. Yes, we get started a little bit later with the curriculum, but I think the amount of time we lose in curriculum, we will gain in relationships and getting those really important things taken care of right up front. So look for more information coming in a couple of weeks on that. We will do that with a Skyward sign up, so we'll be looking for information on that. For those of you who've been with us before, that Skyward sign up would look very much like we did the last couple of conference times, where we'll send it out and you get to sign up for what time works for you. Again, we look forward to getting back together. We look forward to meeting you on those. Much more information to come. Thanks for hanging in there, and we will be back soon, hopefully sooner than later. Talk to you later.